Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. This is a speed and agility session, and now that we're in phase 2, the development phase, we're going to challenge the foundations of speed and agility that we laid in the first phase and challenge that with increased intensity and increased movement demands. So we're going to start off this session with a warm-up working on the mechanics of speed and advancing those movements a little bit more. So the first exercise we're going to work on is an explosive knee drive, and this is a progression on from your A-skip exercise where we're just going to focus on a little bit more of an explosive movement with a quick step in between. So Jake's going to demonstrate this for us, and we're going to use a space here of about 10 meters to practice each one of these exercises. So with the explosive knee drive, what you're looking for is the same aspects of the A-skip exercise: knee up and toe up action, opposite arm and leg action, and trying to get that knee up above the hip. But what you're doing here now is a quick step in between and the opposite knee drive, so alternating that knee drive. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here for us. Good. Driving that knee up and keeping that opposite leg nice and strong. Each time you explode that knee up, drive it up high and pause on the opposite leg. Good. And take a walk back, and you're going to repeat that 2 times. So making sure that as you drive that knee up, that you're also getting the toe up and you're extending that opposite leg, so nice and strong through that action. The next exercise we're going to work on is the high knee bound. You will have performed this in the previous block, and we're going to now exaggerate the movement a little bit more by trying to get a little bit of a higher jump on this. So you're driving up as high as possible, extending through the opposite leg, so power through that back leg, and explosive knee drive in front. So again, Jake's going to demonstrate here. Looking for as much height as possible, drive through that back leg, knee up high, and also looking for that high toe drive as well, the toes up in front. Again, you'll take a walk back, and you're going to repeat that twice. Again, looking for a little bit more height, exaggerating those angles a little bit more. The next exercise we're going to do again is an exercise that we introduced in the previous block. It's a single leg bound exercise, and this, just to remind you, is about explosive action through the hip. So you're trying to keep the knee as straight as possible, and the action comes from the hip only, and you're driving the ground away from you underneath. So across 10 meters here, you're going to try build up the pace as you work through this movement. So Jake's going to demonstrate here again. Good. On the balls of your feet, you're driving the foot down, driving the ground away from you to accelerate yourself forward. The action's all coming from the hip. You're going to take a walk back, and again, when you're ready, repeat that twice. Next exercise is going to be the lateral shuffle exercise. So just starting to warm up through that lateral movement. This is one that we've been doing throughout phase 1. And just a reminder here of the mechanics of this. You want to stay nice and low. You want your feet pointing forward or slightly turned out. You don't want the feet turned out or going in the direction that you're moving. So neutral foot position. Sink down into it nice and low. Imagine that surface above you, that you're staying nice and low. And on that shuffle, that you're pushing off the outside foot and leaning in the direction that you're moving, and making sure that you're not clapping the feet together so that they're not hitting together. So Jake's going to demonstrate here across 10 meters, left and right. Good. Nice strong movement. Pause and push off the outside foot. Good. Nice strong athletic position. You're going to take a little bit of a rest, and you're going to repeat that twice. So once you've completed those 4 exercises twice each, we're going to advance on to a little bit more plyometric type movements. So we're going to also advance on here to more challenging movements in terms of loading onto a single leg, and also introducing a little bit of rotation work too. So making it a little bit more applicable to the game. So situations in the game, we load a lot on one leg. We also rotate quite a bit. We accelerate to rotate, decelerate through rotation. So now starting to introduce that into the mechanics. So the first exercise we're going to work on to introduce that rotation and single leg loading is the lunge rotation exercise. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here. And you're going to be turning into a 90-degree angle and into a lunge position. So Jake, let's give that a go. Good. Stepping to the side, you can see there Jake had a nice, fast, strong movement. Let's go again. Rotating and into that nice, strong lunge position. Let's go once more, Jake. Good. And back. So accelerating on the rotation and then decelerating also. So focusing on that stop too. Let's have a look at that on the opposite side. So you're going to repeat this 3 times, right and left. Good. So pressing off that foot, rotating and stop. And push back. Good. Once more to this side. Perfect. Good. Okay, so you'll do that 3 times to the right, 3 times to the left, and repeat that twice. Focusing on a nice strong push off, rotating strong, make sure it's not sloppy, and strong stop as well on that movement. Okay, so that's going to introduce your rotation on the single load. Single leg loading. And now we're going to introduce a little bit more of a plyometric movement. So the squat jump exercise, which we learned in the previous block, we're now going to advance this on by introducing a little bit of rotation. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here again. You're going to again work through a 90-degree angle on rotation, but now with the squat jump exercise, and you're going to complete 4 repetitions on this, so you'll end up coming around in a full circle here. So Jake, when you're ready. Good. Nice, strong force production and force absorption. Perfect. Good. Okay, so Jake is demonstrating a very, very nice force production there, using momentum from the arms. A nice, solid landing also after that rotation, absorbing the force through the ankle, knees, and hips that we have been reinforcing from the beginning. So with that exercise, 4 repetitions all the way around, and you're going to repeat that 2 times. The next exercise is going to be your lunge jump rotation. So now challenging that jump a little bit further by using that split stance position. And now again, you're going to work through that 90-degree jump. So what you want to do here is jump in the direction away from your front leg. So you can see here that Jake's going to start with his left leg forward. So he's going to jump to his right, landing with the opposite leg forward. So Jake's going to demonstrate that. Good. And back. Once more for each. That's fine. Let's go again. Take your time with it. It is a bit of a tricky one. Perfect. Okay, so quite a challenging one. Take your time with it. If you feel like you need to shorten the stance a little bit more, you can do that and then progress onto a wider stance position. But do take your time with that. It is quite a tricky one with the split stance and with that rotational movement. Once you've completed 4 reps, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, you're going to repeat that twice. The next exercise is now going to introduce a little bit more single leg loading. So we're going to work on a forward hop movement here. So Jake, I'm going to get you to demonstrate this. Yeah, facing this direction. And Jake's going to demonstrate this single leg loading remaining on one leg. So he's going to hop forward on his right leg 3 times, absorbing that force through the ankle, the knee, and the hip. Remember, a light sound. If this is sounding very loud, you need to bend that ankle, knee, and hip a little bit more. Get comfortable with whatever range or suss out what you're comfortable with here. If you're losing balance, if your knee, hip, and ankle aren't staying aligned, shorten the range a little bit more. So you're going to do 3 on the right, 3 on the left, take a little rest, and then repeat that twice. We're then going to progress on to the lateral hop. And sorry, before I go to that previous exercise, if you are struggling with the same leg jump to same leg landing, what you can do is start off with left to right and right to left. So you can hop from the left leg to the right leg and from the right to the left. And once you build up a little bit of strength and stability with that, then you can challenge it with the same leg to same leg jump to landing. Okay, so the same here applies with the lateral hop exercise. If you're struggling with this, you can do left to right, right to left, but Jake's going to demonstrate here the same leg to same leg jump and landing. So just short range to start off with, and as you develop strength, as you develop stability, you're going to challenge it by going a little bit wider with your jump. Good, nice and steady, focusing on ankle, knee, and hip alignment and absorbing that force through bent ankle, knee, and hip. Perfect. Good. 4 repetitions, take a rest, and you're going to repeat that on the opposite leg. Good. Okay, remembering that it's about force production for the jump and force absorption. So you're sinking down into that movement, absorbing the force through bent joints. Keep it soft, and if you find that it's a little bit loud, quieten it by bending and absorbing the force through the ankle, the knee, and the hip. So that's it for our warm-up. We're now going to move on to some more advanced drills. So this is the main phase of the speed and agility session, and we have progressed on to the development stage, but we're still not working at 100% pace. We have, however, increased the amount of sets you're going to work on, and we are still working on planned acceleration, deceleration, and change of direction. But we're going to challenge this by making the movements a little bit more specific to the movements that we see in the game. So increasing the intensity by increasing the movement demands and increasing the amount of times we repeat a movement as well. So being careful that you don't rush on through the sets here, that you're still taking that 1 to 2 minute rest in between and really focusing on the mechanics of the movement. So the first exercise that we're going to work on is an acceleration exercise. Now we've worked a lot on the mechanics of acceleration, and now what we're going to do is introduce a movement that's a little bit more real to the game. So Jake's going to demonstrate this, and what you need for this exercise is about a 10-meter space. And what we're going to do here is introduce a step back movement, because before you accelerate, you don't have the opportunity to start from that nice athletic stance position that we have been coaching throughout phase 1. So what's going to happen is you're in that standing position, you all of a sudden have to accelerate, and what you're going to do is you're going to step back and then accelerate. So Jake's going to demonstrate that for us, and we're going to start off at a 70% pace here and build up to 90% throughout 3 sets. So take it nice and slow for that first one. So the starting position for this is feet shoulder width apart, a nice strong athletic stance position, and the weight is on the balls of your feet. So you're not lifting your heels off the ground, you're just shifting the weight to the balls of your feet. And because this is still planned, you're going to initiate the movement. So Jake, when you're ready, you're going to step back and accelerate across 10 meters and then use the space outside 10 meters to slow down. Good. Okay, and using that space that you have at home to decelerate. If you don't have a huge amount of space, you can shorten that acceleration position and then decelerate after that. So starting off at 70%, increasing to 80%, and then 90%. So not reaching 100% just yet. Just get used to that step back and accelerate forward. So once you've completed 3 sets on that, giving yourself a little break in between, we're going to work on a side step back acceleration. So in situations on the pitch where you need to now accelerate quickly but turn, you're now going to need to step to the side and rotate. So in our warm-up, we're working on the mechanics of rotation and introducing that rotation aspect. So we're going to now apply that with movement and with running. So Jake's going to demonstrate this. And you're going to want to practice this off the right and left, so whichever you want to start with. And again, you're going to initiate the movement yourself, so when you're ready, you're stepping to the side, turning and accelerating. Good. So at this stage, working at about an 80%, 80 to 90% pace. And each time you do this, you're going to alternate right and left. So Jake, you're going to demonstrate here. Let's start from this side again. And let's face in the opposite direction. So just give yourself that chance to recover and walk back. Good. Okay, so one thing you want to watch out for while you're performing this drill is that when you step back to accelerate in the opposite direction, that you don't shift your center of gravity over to that side, because then you're losing that energy, you're losing that time to get back to here and then accelerate that way. So all you're doing is stepping to push off that leg and accelerate in the opposite direction. And you're going to take a walk back and recover after each set. And you're going to perform 4 to 6 sets on that, each time really focusing on the mechanics of the movement and just keeping it to an 80 to 90% pace. The next exercise we're going to work on is called an L agility drill. So what we're looking to do here now is rotate, decelerate and rotate at a 90-degree angle after an acceleration. So Jake's going to demonstrate this here. Now, I'm not going to use a cone for this exercise because it's going to get in the way and it's just going to interrupt the movement. So what I want you to do at home is just use a space of about 5 meters forward and then give yourself about 5 meters each direction in the movement that you're going to do. So we're going to do this to the right and then to the left. So with this, if you do want to use a marker, make sure that you use something that's not going to get in the way. Or what you can do is just, when you're ready, plant the foot and change direction. So what you're looking for here is, after accelerating forward, if you're going to the right, you're going to plant the left foot and turn and drive in that direction. If you're going to the left, that you're planting the right foot, and again, not letting the weight shift over to that side, planting the right foot, turning and driving in that direction. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate both sides here. I'm going to start off with a change of direction to the right, so 90-degree change, and then to the left. So Jake, when you're ready. Good. Okay, so 80 to 90% pace. You're going for about 5 meters, and then 5 meters after your rotation, and then decelerating after that. So make sure you've got that space to work with. So let's have a look at the left. Good. Perfect. Okay, so no need to go at 100% pace just yet. Let's get those mechanics right. Let's prepare for that return back to the field. If you go 100% on these movements right now without having used any rotation work, you're just exposing yourself to a higher risk of injury. So get those movements right. Okay, so similarly, sometimes we're in a situation where we're backpedaling. We have to decelerate and then rotate. So we're going to use the L agility drill and we're going to reverse it. So now you're going to be working backwards. Again, try not to use a marker here that's going to get in the way, and it is probably better just to change when you're ready to change direction. So you're going to backpedal, change direction, rotate 90 degrees to the right and to the left. Good. Still planting that opposite foot and then driving the direction that you want to go. So let's have a look at the opposite direction. Good. Okay, so that's your L agility drill, forward and reverse. So you're going to do that alternating right and left, taking a little bit of a rest in between, walking back to recover, and really working on the mechanics of that. And you're going to repeat each one about 4 to 6 times. So that's it for our speed and agility session today. We're going to finish up with a cool down. We're now going to take it onto a cool down stretch just to finish off the workout. Okay, so for the cool down stretch, you're going to hold each stretch for about 30 to 45 seconds. And you're going to flow through a routine here from standing position down onto the floor and then back up onto the feet. Okay, so Henry, we're going to just start off with a stretch for the posterior chain, so along the calves, hamstrings, glutes, into your back, and we're going to stretch through the chest as well. So I'm going to get you to take your hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, and then you're going to pull your arms back to stretch through your chest. From that position, feet pointing forward, just about shoulder width apart. You're going to hinge forward at the hips and try bring your arms up as high as you can to the ceiling, so you're pulling your hands up to the ceiling, and trying to keep your legs nice and straight on this. Good, so we're going to hold here for 30 seconds on each stretch, really pulling those arms up. And really exaggerate that pull of the chest. And as you hold this movement, try exaggerate that pull, pulling back through the shoulders, pulling the hands towards the ceiling. Good, so just holding for another 5 seconds, really exaggerating that stretch and just using a nice slow, controlled breathing pattern here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, keeping that position, Henry, bring your hands down onto the mat. Good, you're going to walk forward. You're going to drop onto one knee, and you're going to bring the opposite foot forward, and we're going to take a hip flexor stretch here. Good, so you're going to lean forward, and what you're looking for here is a nice stretch on the front of the hip. If you're not feeling that stretch, you can just walk your front foot forward a little bit more. If you're too far back, you're not going to get that stretch. So your knee here in front doesn't want to come over the toes. You're going to walk it forward and hold that stretch. Again, holding each stretch for about 30 seconds. If you can hold it for a little bit longer, you can go up to 45 seconds. Okay, let's keep that position, and we're going to take it now to the hamstring on the opposite side. So you're going to sit back, you're going to allow the toes come up towards you, and you're going to reach forward towards the foot. Okay, so as you're performing this stretch, you want to reach your hands towards the foot, but don't force the stretch, and don't force any of these stretches. So just stretching to the point of tension and never pain on these movements. So you're just reaching towards that foot. If you can't reach the foot or the ankle, don't worry about it. Don't force the movement. So again, holding for about 30 seconds here, just helping these muscles to stretch out and kickstart that recovery. Good. Okay, Henry, you're going to switch legs. Opposite leg forward. You're going to push forward for that hip flexor stretch. If you're not feeling that, again, walk that front foot forward a little bit more. And just gently sitting forward. And let your torso come forward with you. You don't want to pull back on this movement. So just keep that spine neutral and hinge forward. Just trying to find that stretch on the front of that back leg. Again, using your breath, deep breaths into the nose, out through the mouth, remembering that that breath can help mobilize the joints and muscles. And sitting back for your hamstring stretch on this side. Again, reaching towards the foot, but not forcing the movement. If you can't reach the foot or ankle, just reach down along the leg as far as you can. If you find that the muscle is releasing out and you can reach a little bit further, take it that little bit further. And on each exhale, imagine that muscle relaxing. And relax. Perfect. Okay, let's face this direction for the next one, Henry. We're going to take it now to the inner thigh. Take your hands down in front. You're going to bring your left leg out to the side. Toes pointing forward. And you're going to press back, and you should feel this stretch along the inside of the left leg. If you're struggling to find that stretch, you're just going to walk the supporting knee out a little bit wider and gently press back into it. You can rotate through the torso and sink down into it if you want to find a little bit of a deeper stretch. Feeling that, Henry? Again, about 30 to 45 seconds. And you can switch legs. Good, okay, straight leg on the stretching leg. Sit back into it, try find that stretch along the inside of the leg. Again, if you're struggling to find that stretch, you can walk the supporting knee out a little bit more, or you can rotate your torso towards the supporting knee. Again, using your breath, relax the muscles on the exhale. Okay, Henry, I'll get you to bring your hands to the front of the mat again. From here, you're going to lift onto your toes. Nice straight leg position. Walk back to a standing position. Trying to keep the legs as straight as possible. And we're just going to finish off. You can stay facing that direction, Henry. We're going to finish off with a quad stretch. So you're going to keep your supporting leg nice and soft on this. I want you to reach back, grab a hold of your foot behind, and pull your heel towards your back side. Now, as you're doing this, the supporting knee staying soft to stabilize. And pulling your heel nice and close to the back side. If your knee is out here in front, you're not going to feel that stretch. So pull it back in line with the opposite leg or back beyond it if you can. Also trying not to let that knee flare out to the side. So keep it centered, keep it pulled back, and hold that stretch on the quad. Again, 30 to 45 seconds, and switch it over. Soft supporting leg. Keep that balance. If you are struggling to balance here, you can just hold on to something and get that stretch. So again, knee centered, pull it back. Try not to let it come out in front. Try not to let it come out to the side. Pull it back, stay centered, and feel that stretch on the front here on the quad. Again, using your breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax. Good. Okay, and that's it for our session today. Thank you very much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you in the next session.